What's up, everybody? I am Adam Frecks, and you are listening to Talking Dynasty. Today, I am with a special guest, probably one of the most knowledgeable sports fans that I can think of, which is a huge, big thing with me because most of my circle, I would say, we're pretty knowledgeable sports fans. But today, I am with B. Will. How's it going, brother?
Man, it's going good, man. Pleasure to be here, brother.
Absolutely. So, what's your first thoughts when it comes to the draft, when it comes to the Chiefs?
The overall draft, man, I'm just happy. I'm happy for live sports. It was just good to sit back and watch something that was relevant to today. But the Chiefs, I mean, for the picks that they had, I think they did decent, man. I ain't too messed up about what they did, man. I think I would have liked for them to hit a wide receiver before they hit that running back. But I ain't messed up about what he pretty.
Yeah, I think it was one of those deals where, like we were saying this before, I think that was one spot where I think the Chiefs could afford a luxury pick before they start dumping into, okay, we have to
Hit the knees,
the depth for the for defense mainly, because there is, especially in the secondary, there's a deficiency just based on numbers that if they wouldn't have hit at least one defensive back, which they end up jumping back into the 7th round and picking up another D back.
See, yeah, I quit watching after the 4th or 5th round.
Yeah, see, I watched after the 5th round. I was like, the Chiefs are done, and really anything 4th through 7th round are guys who they might not even be on the team ever.
Yeah, they might be practice squad. They might get released at training camp. Yeah, I think they needed defense bad. The secondary, you got what's the rookie from last year? He got hurt.
You got Thornhill.
Thornhill got hurt. Juan Thornhill got hurt, so he come off that ACL injury, so he ain't gonna be ready till like midway through the season. We lost Kendall Fuller.
Yep.
One of the best slot cover corners in the league, and you got Breland coming on for only one more year, so you want to get somebody in Spag's system. Everybody know how difficult the system is to pick up. You want to kind of get them in there now to groom them up for the year after next 2021 season to see what you're gonna get.
So my thing with the D-backs, mainly the cornerbacks in specific. So you're going into the season with Breland and Ward, which I think is a good 1-2, because obviously that's what we went with last year. I know Fuller struggled last year, but he was he ended up playing safety at the end of the year. So
right.
his
versatility.
You can't undermine how versatile he was for us.
Definitely.
And then at that point, you're going in there with Rashad Fenton, and that's a guy that
He had some good plays.
he did, but
down the stretch.
I agree, but going into the season, I don't think it's a guy that you can plug in and be like, boom, that's either our slot receiver, or that's definitely our number 3 receiver. And with the Chiefs, the weirdest thing is, or the most the hardest thing for them is the salary cap that they're playing with right now.
Ain't a lot of loot.
So with that, you have to, who's under contract right now making $7, $8, $9, $10 million, I don't think is going to be on the team when the season starts. There's going to be somebody who's on the team now.
It's going to get cut.
Yeah, so, and I've been saying this for a while. I think, if anybody, it's Duvernay Tardif. So if you can cut anybody, that would be one who's expendable. I don't think it's one of those deals where I think if Chris Jones would have been gone, he would have been traded already.
Right. I was looking to see was he going to be traded during draft night, but yeah, I mean, I in a perfect world, we keep Chris Jones, man. You got to keep Chris Jones
at least for another season.
And I think Mahomes is the type of guy. He's a team player. He's about to get paid out the wazoo for endorsements anyway. That he might take, a little hit just to keep him on board. I mean, like, him and Frank Clark are down in that line, man. You seen it, and they wasn't even all the way 100% healthy. None of the year they both were 100%
Yeah,
healthy.
not any, well, Frank Clark didn't seem healthy at all, really, until the end of the season.
And then old boy Chris Jones got hurt towards the in the playoff.
Right. So when Frank Clark was at his healthiest,
Right.
that's when Chris Jones had got injured playing basketball in the locker room. And I'd always been under the assumption that you just don't see two $100 million players on the line. So I was once we signed Frank Clark, that was kind of like the writing on the wall for me. Unfortunately, because I think Chris Jones is more impactful to the rest of the line than Frank Clark is, if that makes sense.
Definitely.
So when we did sign, or when we traded for Frank Clark and then signed him to that contract, I didn't hate the player adding to our team. I hated the contract and the consequences that would go along with it later on. So, but if it's one of those things, man, where so maybe instead of Pat taking $40 million, he pulls up with 33, 34, and like you said, with those endorsements, he's going to be the closest thing I think the NFL has ever seen to LeBron James as far as marketability wise.
Definitely.
So if he's willing to do something like that, and another reason why the Patriots were so successful for so long is
Tom has been a team player.
Exactly. He knew that if I'm making the top money, I can't be bringing these guys in to consistently be a championship caliber team.
Definitely.
So it's one of those deals where best case scenario, Pat takes, $7 million less than we anticipate. We have the availability to kind of keep them, and because we seen it this year, you can fill those other spots with patchwork players, especially you got the linebackers, who I would consider pretty much patchwork. We gave Anthony Hitchens a shit ton of money.
Damn, my God, that's one of the worst pickups on the defensive side in the last 5 years. He just is it the scheme or what? He just ain't been playing like he was playing in Dallas.
I agree, and it's it's kind of at a fault to his contract, because if he's making $2.5, $3.5 million in this salary cap, it's an okay pickup. But you're paying this middle linebacker $10 million. We need you to produce like a $10 million a year linebacker.
Now, a second round pick, the kid out of LSU,
Willie Gay Jr.
Willie Gay Jr. He's middle linebacker.
Yes.
So maybe that could be the guy that gets ran out of town as Hitchens.
We kind of just. I'm not sure how much we'd save something on him now, which I don't think would be a bad idea, man, because I don't think that he is that impactful enough. For me, it's like, do you see a drop off between Hitchens and a guy like Ben Neiman, and now you bring Willie Gay Jr. in?
And Ben Neiman was okay.
Exactly.
Ben Neiman played ball.
Exactly. So and he was. I won't say he was really good, but he was very serviceable for the time that we needed him.
Definitely.
And at best, that's what you would call Hitchens too. He's very serviceable. He's a guy who. A lot of these guys, their resume looks better now because they won a Super Bowl. But if you kind of take that away and you look at them for what they were as a player throughout the year, or even the last couple of years that they were on the team, Hitchens has been disappointing.
Yeah, him and Ragland. I'm glad Ragland gone too.
So am I. I've been arguing with Mayo about fucking Ragland because he was huge on that Ragland thing. And that was just a pure, hey, I think I met this guy out in public. He said, what's up? And, I love this guy. Like, nah, you need to stop jockeying.
Come on, Mayo.
Yeah, no, not at all. So, but yeah, as far as the Chiefs, I think that Willie Gay pick, hugely underrated.
I think so.
He got, he only started 6 games at Mississippi State, I believe it, but they say he was a first-round talent. He just...
Off the field issue.
Off the field. And it's not even nothing that's, like, major to where he's getting in trouble with law enforcement. It was academics, which...
Yeah,
not a huge deal for me when you're talking about a player that you're bringing into the NFL. And the other one was... he got into the fight with
the quarterback.
Exactly. And even then, it's kind of...
They said that was overblown, too.
Which is also what I've heard, too. So it's just kind of, at that point, it's just kind of... If you bring a guy in that talented and you can get him in the second round, the lower second round, for the amount of ability that he has and the potential that he could possibly bring.
He's a beast.
Yeah.
Middle linebacker, explosive, speed, sideline to sideline. And he just had that twitch about him, and he wraps up. He wraps up good. He played in the SEC, so you see what 40 something. When I was looking at it in the fourth round, he was like 40 some players out of the SEC, or 40.
Yeah.
Average 10 out of every round.
Just even watching the first round and just watching LSU, Alabama, and then you would end up hitting these other schools with the Mississippi States and the Clemson's ACC, but
Clemson might as well be ACC or SEC.
Yeah, Clemson's a powerhouse now, and they can keep up with the SEC top tier teams, which is not a whole lot of teams outside of the SEC can say that. So, what was your biggest surprise of the draft? It doesn't have to be Chiefs. It could be anything.
Biggest surprise of the draft, besides who was that? CD Lamb. Mm-hmm. Besides CD Lamb snatching his phone back.
Yeah. No, that was. I seen something saying his Madden awareness skill needs to be at 100.
Yeah,
just based on that.
He was on it, man.
Yeah.
Let's see here, man. I'm kind of surprised that Philly went on and took old boy that early. Jalen Hurts.
Yes. No, that's
I mean, what is that really saying? To me, what that's saying, I don't think Carson Wentz is in any kind of trouble. I just think you got a brilliant offensive mind back there, which was our old offensive coordinator.
Right.
And I think he thinks he can do something with him.
You think it's like the Tatum Hill type of thing that New
Sean
Orleans
Payton
did?
made him famous. Yeah, I think that's what's going on. I also think that's what's going on with what the Raiders did, drafting that kid out of Kentucky. I actually I'm not a big college football buff, but I did watch him play like 3 or 4 games for some reason. He was just like Antoine Randall meets Cordell Stewart meets whoever else you want to plug. I mean, he was just dynamic. Like,
right, and
the offense that they had built around him was just dynamic, and it just started him.
Well, and players like that get so underestimated. Like what Antoine Randall was to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Definitely.
And
it was before his time.
Oh, way before his time, man. If he could have been in the league now, he would have probably been first, second round pick.
Yeah.
Easy.
So versatile. So versatile.
So, and teams are now willing to do more stuff within their offense. It's not that pure old school offense, run, pass, or even just, if it was a passing team, it's not your Warren Moon.
It ain't to run and shoot.
Yeah, it ain't your Warren Moon anymore. So they're willing to do stuff, and they're willing to bring the quarterback out for a couple plays, a drive.
To bring in a more dynamic offensive player that has a dual threat
Right,
capability.
just to show something. I mean, because if you're bringing, who would have ever thought 10 years ago, you're like, hey, I'm going to bring Drew Brees out for a couple series it wasn't going to happen. You're like, no, I'm going to bring Drew Brees to get the ball in every single play. So
I didn't see it happening.
And which I think, speaking of the Raiders, that's the team. Like, I don't think the Chiefs have really a whole lot to worry about within the AFC West, but
this is going to be exciting this year.
Exactly.
The Broncos, though, I think the Broncos actually did a little bit better than the Raiders. I think the Raiders made splash picks. I think the Broncos and Elway and them boys made some real good methodical picks. And you got to think with just their offseason in general, we're picking up Melvin Gordon. So you got Melvin Gordon, you got Phillip Lindsay back there. And it's kind of a different pace back.
Which was surprising because if you're Phillip Lindsay, I might be a little bit salty that Melvin Gordon got that contract before I did, and I'm on this team.
Yeah, but he had a down year last year.
He did have a down year.
He had a down year last year. His rookie year he went for 1,000.
Right.
And probably some of that was politics within the team. It's like, we're not going to let you get all this usage so you can build these stats up so where you feeling like you are you deserve that money. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just out the gate. So I think a lot of politics happen in football like that all the time.
Well, especially when you're a bad team, you have the availability to pull those players out. Like, we're a bad team anyways. We're going to see what we got with these other guys. So in that situation, it definitely makes sense because now it gives you more of that power of leverage of how much, especially a running back, it must suck to be a top running back in the league this year.
I don't even know what kind of mess that is. It's just like some. It's so agonizing. It's like it's the bull. It's your workhorse, and you score all the touchdowns, you get all the glory, but you don't get none of that back. And it's just like
you touch the ball more than anybody, other than the quarterback.
It's ridiculous.
Like and you're a wide receiver. If you get 100 catches, that's fantastic. But if as a running back, if you have 200 carries, that's not even, you wasn't even the full-time number one workhorse that year. So it's crazy. And you'll be lucky to get $4 million contract with 200 carries and 900 yards.
You're taking the biggest beating.
Oh, for sure. And you're going to have the shortest career out of almost anybody.
Yep.
So, because after 30, we've seen it. Like, just, in which that's the value completely drops off after 30, but I'm just surprised that these guys don't get paid. And that's kind of the structure of the contracts as they come in, that we got you for a minimum of 4 years, and there's nothing you can do about it. So.
And I think that's what picking up the kid. I forget his name, and the French got the French last name. I forget his name. The running back we got.
Damn, it's running. And Clyde's his first name.
Yeah, Clyde. He got the double last name.
Yeah.
Getting him, it really shows that Andy Reid is gonna do something with him. I mean,
for sure.
Because after 2 years, you gonna have to pay him again.
Right.
And so he must really see something in him. And some of the analysis were saying, they see little Westbrook in him and all that. And, he's just like. He's compact. He got the burst. He got the acceleration. Like, he gets top speed real quick.
Right, and he also has those that lower body.
Yeah.
It's like that. He can take that pounding, and he's not just a guy he can actually run the rock on the inside, which the Chiefs have struggled at.
Yeah. Without a draw, we don't really have no between the tackle game.
No, not at all, man. So that's why I wasn't mad at them taking a running back that high, because there's definitely that talk before the draft.
Well, who did we sign though? We just signed somebody.
The kid from DeAndre Washington from the Raiders.
From the Raiders.
Right.
Okay, he's serviceable. Special teams look like it.
Right. So now at this point, we're pretty deep at running back, because you got Damian Williams, Darrell Williams, Thompson, DeAndre Washington.
And the Rook.
Yeah.
So that's
the
5
rookie.
running backs.
Right. So that's
Ain't no way we start the season with 5 running backs.
No, not at all. Hardly ever do we start the season with 4 running backs, let alone 5. So
I don't know about D-Train.
Yeah, so which is disappointing, man, because he was the guy with all the preseason hype last year.
Yep.
So
I don't think he can learn the offense that quick. So I hope that he learns the offense that's been in his playbook so he can show improve. But it's kind of like he's the same mode of the running back we just got.
See, that's what I was thinking. Like, that's just the similarities are kind of small, compact. D-Train is just fucking ripped and built.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting that we got a guy who's like him in the very first round. So
it's a little uneasy.
It does. If you're him, you're uneasy. Obviously Damian Williams ain't going to go anywhere, which I'm not. You won't catch me on that Damian Williams train. I think his.
I like Damian Williams year before last. I liked him when Kareem suspended.
Right.
That was his breakout year, and I loved what he brought to the team that year. Last year, he just get hurt so much.
See, that's
them nagging little injuries, man. It's just like, come on. but he's a running back, so they take the most beating.
Right.
So it's like you're almost like a hypocrite. It's like, man, he always hurt. It's like pay him more money, but no, I can't pay him more money because he always hurt.
See, that's a tough spot that you're in, both from as a general manager and the running back. It's like, well, you see the talent, but they're going to come like, well, the talent's never on the field. So
Right.
unless you're J.J. Watt, you ain't getting paid to sit fucking on the...
Watt the only one that get paid to sit on the sideline. I mean, when you know what you're getting out of Watt, though.
Right, when he's on the field, top 5 D lineman.
And for him to come back in that, like, to be really, man, I ain't going to say what we should have did, but they should have won that game.
Chiefs versus Houston?
Oh, my God.
Oh, for sure. For sure. They should have beat us by double digits easily. Easily. That was on O'Brien.
That's a terrible coaching move.
That was on O'Brien.
I just knew. We were up here watching it at esports, and it was just so subdued. I kept decent, stoic approach to it, but I'm back making chicken. Next thing you know, what the hell going on?
Yeah.
Oh, hell no. We didn't did what? Dude didn't fake the punt. And it's just like, man, that was a mad move, man.
Yeah, it was one of those deals, man, where I was actually, the first half, I was watching it at the crib, and I was like, all right, fuck this, and I ended up coming up here.
Yeah.
And then that's when it was like, all right, the shit's starting to tide, and like shit was, that was one of the craziest. Well, every damn playoff game this year was just something went itself. For us to win by double digits in every single game when we were down double digits in every game, especially that Houston game, you end up winning by 20.
That's the asterisk. That's the asterisk we have by our playoff run. We down by 10 points or more in every game in the playoffs, and we won by 10 points or more in every game.
Yeah, it's something else. So, and going into this season, man, obviously each season, and usually you say every team's a little bit different. But we're damn near bringing everybody back. Starter-wise, almost everybody's coming back. That's just unheard of for really any team to team, let alone a Super Bowl team.
So we lost Fuller, we lost Ragland. Who did we lose on offense? Did we lose anybody on offense?
Did we?
Oh, we lost the backup tight end.
No, we lost the backup tight end, and Wisniewski, the left guard, I believe was his name. Yeah, he ended up signing. I don't remember where he signed, so... And that was one of those deals. It wasn't a huge deal. He came in late in the season. Mm-hmm. Andy's constantly flipping.
That's how he got that contract, because he showed that he could plug and play. He came in with us through the gauntlet, through the stretch.
So, and that interior line, that left guard, center, right guard, I think Andy can scheme enough that he doesn't need the greatest players out there. If you're just somewhat serviceable, don't fuck up, and we'll plug you in there and we'll be able to get by, because I don't think Eric Fisher's like great all-pro, but I think it's a solid left tackle that deserves to be on a team and starting.
The best, worst first-round pick of all time.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely.
He's the best, worst first-round pick of all time.
And it's only based on, for me, based on how crappy that first-round pick was for that year.
Oh my God!
Like that was
that was probably one of the worst drafts in history. It was just like you had. And then what was the next year? Who was the next year?
That's when
was that Luck?
The quarterback went first. Yeah,
Luck?
Was it Luck?
Yeah,
that was Luck. That was Luck. Yeah, because that was the year that Peyton Manning was sitting out because he got hurt.
Yep. Yeah, that was terrible.
No, because a lot of people was on that Geno Smith bandwagon. That 1-1, take Geno. So, and if you look at it, the Chiefs did the right move, because it was either Eric Fisher or Luke Jokel, and Jokel's not even in the league no more. So, and Hopkins,
Hopkins went late.
He went like 26 or 27 to Houston.
I think he was the best player in the draft.
Oh, for sure. If you're going to top 10, I think Lane Johnson went to the Eagles. He's a better player than Eric Fisher. But even then, overall, like you said, that's like a great way to put it. The best, worst first-round pick we've seen. So it's something that, like, he's serviceable. James Harrison ain't in the league no more, so it makes me feel better about.
He just manhandled that kid, man.
Yeah.
That was like just bad. That was trash, man.
That was one of the hardest things to watch, was James Harrison. Even at the end of his career on his last leg, still dominating Eric Fisher. So it's in
That was
the
a manhandle.
yeah, it's in the it's kind of one of those things though that winning kind of forgives everything.
No doubt.
So because we won that, and as we go back into the season, that stuff's going to start to pop back up. It's, you know, everybody who was on our team now, it's kind of like, yeah, you helped us to the Super Bowl. But I think sometimes when you look at it through like an end result view and not really the process view, I think your vision can be skewed on like what the player is. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So the process is what I enjoy. It's just kind of what these guys really are as players, and like what can you continuously to do to get better each and every season, because we did have a lot of faults on, especially defensive wise. Our linebackers were as close to bad as you could possibly be last year.
Yeah. Because I mean, yeah. Do we still have Ramika? Was Meeks? What was dude's name? Do we still even have him?
Who's that?
Is it Meeks?
Or
is he gone?
No, I think he's gone.
See, that's crazy. I can't even remember. I remember Neiman. I remember Hitchens. I remember Ragland.
So then you had Dorian O'Daniel.
He came in decent.
Darian Lee, Damian Wilson.
Oh, Wilson. That's what I was thinking. What's his first name?
Damian, I believe.
Wilson.
Either Damian, yeah, I believe it's Damian Wilson.
He was definitely serviceable. I mean, towards the end of the year, they said that the defense was so hard to pick up. And towards the end of the year, the linebackers stepped up pretty decent.
So towards the end of the year, you know, and that might have been a deal where we was in a new defense to where none of these players have played in this type of defense before. And we just got off to such a bad start, and finally we did start picking it up. Because Hitchens did get a little bit better.
Did Terrell Suggs retire? Is he a free agent?
He's a free agent, but he hasn't said anything. I don't know. He hasn't retired. He hasn't put out a retirement statement.
I'll take Suggs for the veteran.
Minimum?
Yeah.
So would I.
Easy.
For sure. So I think that's the type of players that the Chiefs have to look forward for that plug-in now, because like we said, not all these players that got drafted are going to be on the team.
Right.
And they're going to have some cap flexibility at some point. They're going to figure something out to where you're going to have to get those guys with that veteran minimum. Bring in guys later in the year, like how we brought in Morris Claiborne late in the preseason last year.
Yep.
That's going to happen. What our team is now is not what it's going to be come start week 1.
Starting week 1. We don't have the schedule yet. Do you know when the schedules come out?
I don't know. It should be soon.
It said April 16th, but with all the pandemic, they
Right.
pushed everything back. Well, we do know who we are playing. Who are you excited about? Give me a couple games you're excited about.
Tampa, man.
Definitely Tampa.
Tampa.
That's in Tampa?
That's in Tampa.
See?
That's in Tampa.
Oh, my God. You know, my 2 traveling games that I had before the Tom Brady news was, was definitely the Raiders.
Yep, Las Vegas.
I was going to Vegas, and I was going to New Orleans.
See, and that's the other one that had been brought up. So Vegas was like a definite, and I think we play at Miami this year.
That would have been a nice one.
That was the other one that maybe I can't. Yeah, because I think we played the AFC East this year, and that was the other one. But once I heard Brady's going to Tampa, like that was like, hopefully they open this stuff back up and these types of things.
Because that's definitely the 2 games I was going to. I mean, with the Tampa game too. I mean, it's kind of ironic, man. Ain't the Super Bowl in Tampa this year?
It is.
Come on,
it
man.
is. It is.
This is just storybook for old
the NFL. Roger
TB12.
Oh,
man.
It is.
Come on, man. Then you got Grunt coming back. What big news is that? I think they use him more as in the slot just for the mismatch. I mean, and then you still got the what was the O.J. Howard? You still got O.J. Howard there, and you still got
Cameron Brate still there.
Cameron Brate was actually one of the best targets they had last year, especially within the goal line in the red zone. So I think they keep him for blocking. And I think O.J. Howard, I think they still fishing him around. But, I mean, to me, it's like, imagine Chris Godwin outside, Evans outside. And Godwin plays a lot of the slot.
Right.
In that offense. But imagine if you had O.J. Howard and Gronkowski. What are you going to do? Is that a running formation? Is that a passing formation? That's a balanced Tampa Bay formation. And a lot of people are going to be in trouble when they do that.
So, and then you have those two receivers out on the outside.
Yeah.
Or you can even play Godwin on the slot on the inside with that and have your.
Yep.
I can't think who the third wide receiver is.
Well, it was Brett Perriman, but he's gone. I think he went to the Jets. He replaced Robbie Anderson.
So, but this might be that formation that when it was Gronk and Aaron Hernandez. Not I want to say O.J. Howard is the athlete that Hernandez is, but I think Gronk opens him up. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So I think that
him or Brett over there.
Right. One of those guys. I think that if you can pull between the two of those guys 600, 750 yards out of both of them, which that's saying a lot because, you got Godwin and Evans is going to get his. It's interesting, man. It's and then they took a tackle for their first overall pick. So they're just trying to set Brady up for nothing but success. So this is the conversation I've had with people. And granted, it's super early, but as a sports fan, that's kind of what we do. We try to foreshadow shit. Do you think Tampa's the early NFC favorite?
Yeah, with the media.
Right.
I think it's still they have to gel, man. And then without being able to, OTAs and who knows what training camp going to be like. Isn't this the year they cut out some of the preseason games? Is it this year?
I think it's next year.
Is it next year?
I think it's next. I'm not 100% sure. Because when they're cutting out the preseason game, that's when they're starting the playoffs where only one seed gets a bye.
I think they are definitely in the top three. But I didn't see nothing but San Francisco do nothing but get better.
So, yeah, and that's where – so I've had this conversation.
Who was the wide receiver they got out the draft?
Oh, shit. I can't think. They traded up for him.
Because Emmanuel Sanders is gone.
Right.
And, hold on. Where's Emmanuel Sanders at?
He went to New Orleans.
See, that's – you got –
just the AFC South when
it's New Orleans, bro. And that's what I'm saying. The media hype is TB12 all the way. But come on, man. New Orleans defense was pretty savvy at the end of the year. And it's just now it's like, now you got somebody to rival against. When you Brady and Breeze, they're going to be passing each other all year, record-wise, all year long. So both of them got something to play for, and then they play twice. I mean, New Orleans, to me, is the better team overall. I mean, because for one, you got the connection.
Right.
They're well groomed. They've been in there. This third, fourth year of that team. That core's been together, if not more. I mean, you got Kamara. Kamara had a bad year last year. You still got Latavius Murray there for the Thunder and the Lightning combo. I mean, you got the best fucking wide receiver in the league with Michael Thomas there,
hands down. In my opinion, hands down.
Yeah, and then you got of course you got Breeze, man, and.
Then you add Emmanuel Sanders to that.
Emmanuel Sanders, man, in that slot with, and you got Ginn on the outside to stretch him out.
Right.
Oh, my God, dude. That's Sean Payton is down there just. And then you got the toys and ponies like Taysom Hill and all them down there. So,
see, that's where I've been on it. So, like.
You probably got one of the top three corners in the league, too.
Right. Well,
shutdown corner.
And their defense is solid, man. You can't underestimate how good their defense really have been last couple of years. I don't think they were as good last year as it was 2 years ago.
No, they wouldn't.
But you can't underestimate that. With defense, there's an ebb and flow. Unless you're like the fucking Baltimore Ravens, where you're always somehow a top 5, top 10 defense. All defenses have an ebb and flow where they're between 10 to 20. Like you said, I think it's more of a media thing with Tom Brady. And, dude, you won't find a bigger Tom Brady fan in Kansas City other than me.
Yeah.
I appreciate greatness. Like,
no doubt.
He's as close to Michael Jordan in the NFL as you're going to get.
Yep.
That's it. So, But I also try to look things through a realistic view. He's going into an offense that he's never been a part of. He's playing with players he's never played with, other than Gronk. Even Gronk's going into an offense he's never played. Even though I know Arians will kind of...
He'll groom it.
Yeah, but...
He put some of that verbiage in there so where he can,
But the problem is there's no OTAs, there's no mini camps. What's training camp going to look like? So there's a lot of things that go to it, the variables.
Watching tape is only going to take you so far without actually being able to throw that pig skin around.
Exactly. The camaraderie of just like having the availability to throw the ball to the guys.
Tampa Bay really don't have a running game.
Nah, at all. I mean, you got Ronald Jones, who's been an absolute bust.
And it's just like, okay, but their offensive line is a little bit better with the upgrades. I see New Orleans. I mean, it's sad what's going on in Atlanta, how you could just fall apart like that after you lose the Super Bowl, how you lost it. And I called that. Matter of fact, I did. I called that New Orleans or the Patriots going to come back. I called it at halftime. I probably had about over 500 comments on that Facebook post. I share it every year, too, and I was like,
I was about to say,
I share it every year.
People's probably like, oh, what you got over there?
I share it every year, but they just fell apart down there. Carolina, I don't know what they're doing over there. I mean, you got Teddy Bridgewater and you got McCaffrey. I think that because Bridgewater is always a dink and dunk anyway. I think McCaffrey is definitely still the number one pick in your fantasy draft.
I was about to say, I think Carolina becomes a fantasy.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Well,
not so much a great NFL team, but McCaffrey is, I would say he'd probably be the number one player that's getting drafted this year, purely based on, most people play PPR, so just purely based on that. And like you said, the Atlanta thing, man, it just went down like a fucking blazing fire. It's just, now they don't have any running back. Well, they got Gurley, but
who knows what Gurley is?
And
I hope Gurley is going back to the real Todd Gurley.
I agree.
I really do hope that he's going back to that because Gurley was an absolute beast a couple years ago, right before he got hurt. So,
well, and the crazy thing about Gurley was his descent started to happen the year they went to the Super Bowl because he got hurt, and then they had I can't remember their back, Henderson, I think it was.
Yep.
He kind of held the rock for the end of the year. Then even last year, they wouldn't even really give Gurley the touches. So it's kind of like, what the hell is happening here?
What's really going on? So yeah, man, that's definitely exciting. NFC South is definitely exciting, and probably do you rate them over the NFC West?
Yeah, for sure. As far as like top to bottom, for sure. Because with the AFC West, there's so much to prove still. As crazy as it sounds, Derek Carr might be the second best quarterback as of right now in this division. I think that Drew Lock can overtake him.
Yeah.
But that's still an unknown, you know what I mean? Like, what really is Drew Lock? He didn't play enough or had enough time, and
kid got that swag, man.
He does,
got
dude.
that swag,
He
man.
does, and that's a local kid too. So it's I root for him, even though it's tough to. But it's what is he going to actually end up being? That's really the question with the Broncos for me. And Tua going to the Chargers, it's one of those things where I think Tua sets all year.
Tua went Dolphins.
Oh, yeah, Dolphins. Herbert went Chargers.
Herbert went Chargers.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where I think Herbert sets all year, and
they just groom him. They try to give him the Pat Mahomes treatment.
But I think that's where they have Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah,
I think the Chargers can be more successful with Tyrod Taylor this year than they was with
Phillip Rivers last year.
Yes, because I think Tyrod Taylor
he got a little bit more dynamic to him.
And not only that, he's not quite the gunslinger like Rivers was. So they're not going to have as many turnovers. Exactly. So, and with how good defensively that the Chargers are, I think that's something that plays into what they want as a quarterback, is the dude just kind of manage the game. We got beast over here. Hell, they picked up that linebacker, Murray, in the first round too, I believe.
Yeah, see, Me personally, I wouldn't. If I just knew the Chargers were going to pick Isaiah Simmons, and I think that's the pick that they should have had picked.
I agree.
I mean, just to add on that, so it's like they say it's Darwin James Jr.
Right.
It's the same positionless player.
Right.
So you got both of them out there roaming around with all that speed and all that. Man, come on.
And I think
that was it.
Right, and I think they got the worst quarterback to pick. I think it's like if there's a bust of a quarterback in the top 10 pick, it's Herbert.
It's going to be Herbert.
Yeah, for sure. I think with granted, I'm not as big on the kid from LSU that went to Cincinnati, Joe
Burrow.
Yeah, not so much because of him, but because of where he went. So I think sometimes quarterbacks.
Some of that Cincinnati chili, man.
Right. So sometimes the quarterback, depending on where you go, will determine the success. And I don't know if he's necessarily a guy that you can throw on his back from the get-go and have success. So if I was to guess, I would guess if out of any of them, if Tua can sit out this year as well, let him get completely healthy, and then play next year. I think he has him or Love, which Love is a complete fucking question mark.
I don't know what that was about neither.
Yeah, so, and that's a guy who may end up set for 2 or 3 years.
It's just like, why draft him then?
Man,
that's corny. It's politics, man.
Well, I think that's so much on the relationship between Green Bay's head coach and Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, so they were saying, I heard this the other day, since they drafted Rodgers, they have not drafted an offensive skill position player in the first round.
Ridiculous.
It's crazy.
He's supposed to be the best quarterback in the league for the last, at least, talent-wise, at least the last 6-7 years.
For sure.
Have to say that.
For sure.
You don't give him no help besides Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams was a second-round pick himself.
Right. And another thing I was seeing, like 54% of the wide receiver snaps last year was from undrafted free agents.
Yeah, I picked a lot of Lazard.
Right.
Late in the year for my fantasy, Lazard.
That's what I'm saying. So, and for them still to go 13-3, and these are the options that you left available instead of.
I don't know. Did they even get a wide receiver?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't checked out their draft, but
they needed a couple. What the Raiders did, the Packers should have had done.
Yeah, exactly. Because the Raiders knew that they were going into the season with Derek Carr. Mm-hmm. Well, let's try to set him up with as much success as possible. We got the running back. Let's give him some actual weapons that he needs.
Does Derek Carr throw a good deep ball? I was looking at a stat where they say he has the shortest yardage per completion.
Which I could see that.
Like the last few years.
But that also plays into that West Coast offense that Gruden plays.
The last few years.
Gruden was last year's Gruden?
Gruden's last year was his first year.
Last year was it?
Yeah, because no, 2 years. 2 years. The first year he got rid of
Amari Cooper.
No.
Yeah, midway through the season, right?
Yeah, but the before the season started, he got rid of the edge rusher.
Oh yeah, dude that went to Chicago.
Oh, hey, football season's been out too long.
It has, dude. It has. Which I was absolutely going. As a Chiefs fan, I was glad to see him go. Damn, I can see him. Like I can see him in my head.
Somebody's saying it right now.
Right, they're like, God damn it! How do you guys not know this?
Yeah, that guy, 52, man. 52
yeah,
for the
Mac.
Yeah.
So, and he's never been a deep ball thrower, anyways. Because even when he had Jack Del Rio, it's kind of the same type of deal. It's just,
but now you got some burners.
Now you're gonna have
out there. You're gonna have to throw it up.
You're gonna have to throw it up there. So, and for me, like ever since Carr got hurt and he broke his leg, I believe it was at the end of the season.
Yeah.
He's not been the same guy ever since.
Nope.
He's been real timid.
He was almost MVP caliber before he got hurt.
That's the conversation I've been having about Carr is like, can he ever reach that, even close to that potential again to even, the Raiders should have won the division that year. Then he got hurt, and they lost the last couple games because he was hurt, and they ended up playing the Texans in the playoffs. I think McGloin was their starter after
Yeah,
that.
McGloin.
So
He was actually playing XFL
he
ball
was
this year.
He was playing
He
XFL.
did. He was serviceable too, man. That was a pretty good league. I'm mad that it's gone.
Yeah, that was disappointing. That I think it was one of those deals. If this COVID-19 thing never happened, I think they see that play through, and you get at least one more season.
At least another year at XFL.
For sure. So, and I thought it wasn't bad entertainment because especially at that time, there was really nothing to watch.
It was decent football.
Right. So, like, I'm a huge NBA fan, but those NBA games in February and March aren't the most entertaining things to watch.
April and May. April.
Yeah,
Early April is when you start watching NBA.
Right.
Positioning for the playoffs, and you start seeing some of that talent that really didn't get a chance to play throughout the year to get to shine.
Right. So that was like prime for like XFL, and I seen people starting to attach themselves to teams too. Just kind of like, all right, this is who I'm rooting for.
I was rooting for whoever was winning me fantasy.
You see, that's kind of how
I started DraftKings fantasy with that too. I said, well, what the hell? I think it was Houston. Houston was the big.
Yeah, because they was undefeated, and they had that kid, that quarterback.
Oh yeah, he was a dual threat.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name.
Me
If I
neither.
couldn't think of Mac's name, I sure in the hell can't.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Hell, the Chiefs got a quarterback from the XFL.
Did we?
Yeah.
Yeah, who is our backup? That's what I meant to ask you too.
So
earlier.
they end up re-signing Chad Henne, which I don't. I mean, if you could have kept either Henne or Matt. Goddamn.
The dude who came back at the
Yeah,
end of the
exactly.
first year last year.
I would have kept him over
Matt Moore.
I would have kept Matt Moore over Henne because I've never,
Henne is. I mean, I guess he just knows the system though.
Yeah, and that's true. And the thing is, we haven't seen Henne, but I've seen Henne play other places, and I felt like I've seen more success with Matt Moore at other places than I have
Chad
Henne.
Henne,
Yeah,
like he's taking double shots of Henne before the game when he was getting out there with other teams.
he's like, come on.
Well, he went to Michigan, didn't he?
He did. And he was,
He was okay at Michigan.
He was okay at Michigan.
Pro's just a whole nother level, man.
It is. Well, other than Brady, Michigan quarterbacks just don't work out.
Nah, they don't. They don't.
But we got a Hawaiian kid that was playing for
Dallas.
I believe so. Yeah. So.
Yep, I seen it. He was the best dual threat they had in the league.
Right.
Yeah, because he would rush for almost 100 and throw for damn near 300. He was dope.
So, and I think
Dallas Renegade.
I would like to see somebody push Henne back out. So, like, because hopefully we'll see. So, and Reed knows what he's doing with quarterbacks. He knows how to flip quarterbacks too. If not flip quarterbacks, he'll run them through their rookie contract, and they'll end up signing with another team for a
The
couple
only quarterback
seasons.
I don't see that's in the league no more that should be I shouldn't say, but he's old enough to still serviceable in the league is Kevin.
Kevin Cobb? No, not Kevin Cobb.
Yeah, Cobb.
He went out with injuries, bro.
Did he?
His
He retired.
Yeah, concussions knocked him the fuck out. Like, knocked him out.
Yep, Cobb was pretty decent.
Yeah, no, yeah. He only ended up starting like 8 games after he got traded to the Cardinals because he just kept getting knocked out of games.
He did get paid.
Oh, he got paid.
He got paid.
He's straight. He's like, these concussions are real.
He did get paid.
And he's got a few people paid.
Definitely a quarterback whisperer. You knew he was special when he took our boy San Francisco.
Alex Smith?
No, before him.
San Francisco.
Come on, man. The big nose, tanned up dude. Jeff Garcia.
When he resurrected Jeff Garcia's career.
Well, that's how you knew he was special. I mean, Jeff Garcia was definitely talented, but yeah.
You're talking
that
about
part in his career, yeah.
Well, because what happened, just for you to even bring that up, because that was like Jeff Garcia went from 49ers and he had success. Then he went to the Browns, which was an absolute
horror show.
Yeah. And then they end up cutting him halfway through the season. Mm-hmm. Ends up signing up with Philly. And
it was a playoff run, wasn't it?
Yeah, it resurrected his career to get another contract in Tampa Bay.
So earlier I asked about I said NFC West, but you took it AFC West.
Right.
So now I'm going to say we were seeing who is the better stacked division. Is it the NFC South or is it the NFC West? I say that because I think Arizona is gonna take a big step this year.
Me too. I like Kyler Murray, man. It's
I think the Rams fall back a little bit.
Well, I agree because I think now you're leaning more on Goff than you've ever wanted to before. I think you'll see the holes in Goff's game now that you don't have that elite running back like you had.
Yep.
Man, top to bottom, man, Seattle's always going to be decent.
Seattle's always going to be.
You got Russell Wilson. It doesn't really. He can have nobody as a running back, and he got the Lockett kid, and that's really about it.
He got DK.
DK
stepped up.
He did come. He did step
DK
up.
stepped up, and then you got both of those tight ends now. See, one of them got hurt. Disley got hurt in the beginning of the year,
Right.
And then you had the kid Hollister that came in, Jacob Hollister.
Yeah, no.
And now with a double tight end with Chris Carson back there with both of them wide receivers out there, that's still kind of like.
So, do you believe in any of their running backs? Because they still got.
I think Carson is dope. I think
They have a
the other
couple
two.
running backs.
The other two.
They can't stay healthy.
Rashad Penny.
Penny was a first round pick.
So I think he was okay, and it was one more. CJ Precise.
Procise. That was the one I was thinking of.
Everybody but Procise.
Yeah, so even if you can go in there with two running backs who are that solid, so yeah.
And that defense, the Seattle defense, is always going to be the Seattle defense.
They're always going to be solid.
They're always going to be solid.
Around at worst top 15, and you have at worst top 15 defense with one of the best quarterbacks in the league. You're a Super Bowl.
Now I wonder did they actually add anything to that offensive line because you get. I mean Russ is running around. I know he got them new kids at home.
He's like, I'm already tired. Come the fuck on.
So, I mean, he was just running around like, oh my God, last year. So I wondered, did they service that at all? But
yeah, if they can, and that would help the run game too, because I think a lot of that was part of the run game. The running backs had to make something happen on their own.
Yep.
So, yeah, top to bottom, man, it's hard.
You got two elites. And you got, I guess you would say, Seattle and San Fran. And then you got New Orleans and Tampa Bay. And then you got the fringe, which is Atlanta and Carolina and the Rams and Arizona.
So I think, like that Super Bowl hangover loss, man, it seems to be a real thing at this point. Like, and how much do we believe in Garoppolo? And can that running back system be just as effective this year for San Francisco? And also now San Francisco doesn't have that worst placed scheduling. You know what I mean? So
true.
Now you got to play all these teams that have won.
That's true.
And I want to say I said in another podcast, if there's anybody that made the playoffs this year that not going to next year, like San Francisco would be one of my top ones because I'm not a Garoppolo believer as far as being an elite quarterback that no matter what you have around him, he's going to at least have you a playoff caliber team. So
yeah, he had the happy feet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. So
that whole fourth quarter, he had the happy feet, but that was just bad coaching though too. I think inexperienced coaching. I wouldn't say it's bad because I like their coach.
I like Shanahan. Yeah, I'm big on Shanahan. So that's where I'm kind of like I flip flop on that kind of thought because I think Shanahan is the real or can be the real deal, still to be determined.
So you have Morrison. What's his name?
Raheem Morris.
Raheem Morris. You got
Breida.
You got Breida, and you got Tevin Coleman.
Right.
Breida he's always hurt.
Right.
Okay, so now it leaves Raheem, and you got Tevin Coleman, which both were.
Right. And then,
I give both of them top 20, top 25 backs in the league right now.
Well, Morris was the third running back for quite a bit of the season.
He steamrolled him through the playoffs.
No, I know. But, not to keep bringing up Super Bowl, which is crazy, is that he didn't get a touch till damn near the second quarter.
Which is crazy.
It was like, dude, this dude just came off 200-plus yards and 4 touchdowns.
Which is crazy.
And you got Tevin Coleman. And
that might have been overthinking it.
Right. Like, which, it came to our benefit because, the Chiefs were up 10-3 after that first quarter.
Yeah.
How do you not get this guy trying to start? And once he came in, that's when the ball started rolling for the Niners, that they was able to punch us in the mouth and they was more effective. And I think Tevin Coleman's pretty good too. Man, but top to bottom, man, I would probably still go NFC West.
Yeah.
I'd still go NFC West.
I just think Tampa Bay is improving.
Right.
I think they like I'm about to say I think they like the Browns last year. Not like that, but like that. Like, you know, everybody tried to crown the Browns from the preseason.
Yeah, you got.
I mean, yeah, it's Brady, but he's in a whole other system, man. I mean, they said Arian's system is hella hard to pick up.
That's what I've heard.
So it's just like, yeah. And then that defense, they could not stop the pass last year.
And they didn't really do anything to. They got somebody in free agency, but I can't remember who it was.
Running game was defensive run game was dope. They could not stop the pass though.
Right. So, and what you don't want out of Brady, who's a 42-year-old quarterback, is him throwing the ball 40 times a game.
Nah, but something tells me that's what they're gonna be doing.
Yeah, no, but
I think he's gonna be having fun doing that in the NFC South too, where it's all good temperature.
You maybe got a point there too, but it's. You would think his arm would wear down, kind of like a pitcher does throughout the season.
But he doesn't put it like I think he does smart. I don't think he has a lot of wear and tear on his arm. Like I'm not no quarterback whisperer. I'm not looking at his throwing angles and his thrust and all that type of arm motion and degrees and stuff. But it just doesn't seem like Brady actually ever uses a lot of his arm or shoulders. It's like he got real good mechanics.
That's true. It's probably the most clean mechanic guy.
Yeah, so he's not putting a lot into it. So I think he's fresh, man. And then being able to get down there in the humidity where the balls kind of shrink on their own.
Right. No, you maybe got a point there.
he might be all right, man. You know what I'm saying? The balls get a little bit more give to him down there, man. So ain't no telling.
No, yeah, but at top to bottom, man, I'd go NFC. So, I mean, honestly, for a top tier, New Orleans is up there with any team in the NFC West.
Definitely.
So I think that you'd put Seattle, and you still got to put the Niners up there because what they did was real, and their defense is.
They lost. A real deal. They lost the other inside.
The Buckner
guy, but then they picked up the guy out of just a replace, man. And they traded. They traded with Tampa Bay for that pick.
Right.
And they went back and still got the same dude that they wanted. Was it old boy out of Auburn?
You talking about the wide receiver or the D-tackle?
The D-tackle.
Yeah, I seen Bosa had tweeted out to him, like, welcome to, I don't remember what they call it, the Hot Boys. I think that's what they call their D-line.
Yeah, so their defense is still intact. And, I mean, what wide receiver did they add? They added a good wide receiver.
Yeah, because they hopped back in the first round. It was so many damn
wide receivers, man. It was just,
they said, I think 12 went in the first 2 rounds, or 14 went in the first 2 rounds. Broke the record for wide receivers. And that tells you where the value has went.
Definitely.
So before there was running backs, man.
Mm-hmm.
You'd see 4 or 5 running backs. Obviously quarterbacks still get taken just as much, but
you can credit that to guys like Ajana Carter. Who was the dude that went to Colorado that just passed? Rest his soul. That was Kajana Carter, wasn't it?
That was Kajana.
What about the one that went to Penn State, though? Number 32 for Penn State. I had his jersey.
I was thinking of the kid from Nebraska. Hand up, sir.
Oh, you talking about Armand Green? No.
Lawrence Phillips. Lawrence Phillips, yeah. So just.
And Lawrence Phillips was, but see, he had talent.
No, he did.
He was a hardhead.
Right, but still, it's just like when you use picks like that up for running back. And another thing that's happened bad for running backs is you see guys in the 3rd, 4th, 5th rounds, undrafted, pulling up the same production. And hell, we don't have to pay those guys as much for 4 years.
Makes sense. Definitely makes sense.
Yeah, it's one of those deals where I'd hate to be, like, if you're starting my kid out in football, he's not a running back.
No.
Wide receiver.
Wide receiver, quarterback.
Yeah, wide receiver, quarterback.
Edge rusher.
Right, that's what I was about to say. Cornerback, edge rusher, shit.
No, see,
get him up to
You're not being as precise about it as you should. I want my kid to be a backup quarterback.
Yeah, no, that's what
watch this Chase Daniel tape.
Yeah, I was about to say, bro, you want to make $45 million.
Watch this Chase Daniel tape, son.
You get you 10 attempts in the season. Just go to a Big 12 team where
no big deal. Watch this Chase Daniel tape.
Exactly. Just you'll be straight, man. You'll throw for 4,000 yards in college, and you won't ever see the field. But somehow
you throw for 40. You throw for 40 in the league, but you be alright though.
Right. You get $40 million for each fucking pass attempt that you ever get. So.
Yeah, that's retarded, man. Yeah. He just keeps taking those deals to be a backup,
which is crazy. So
he probably gonna be the richest backup to ever play the game.
I think he's probably already there. The thing is, it's like at some point, you know, like your competitive nature would want to kick in. You would think. His never did. His never was. There was points where he, you know, you got Ryan Fitzpatrick starting for Miami this year. You like a place like that to where you're like, all right,
I should be able to get in there and compete.
Exactly. The closest thing that he had was when he signed
Chicago,
with Philly.
Right?
Well, no, because they went. He signed after Trubisky got drafted, I believe.
Yeah.
But he went to Philly thinking that he had the potential to start because that's when not McDermott, but our former O-line. Or offensive coordinator went there.
I can't think of his name.
And then they end up drafting Wentz, and then they end up picking up Foles again. He went from thinking he was going to be a starter for a short bit to third string, easy.
I think he's in Chicago.
Yeah, he's in Chicago now. He ended up signing somewhere. He's in Detroit now, I believe. Yeah, bro, that's what I'm saying.
He find out now. See, you think from Kansas City to he was in New Orleans first.
Wow.
New Orleans, Kansas City, Philly, Chicago, now Dallas. All those systems were kind of the same, I guess, besides Sean Payton, but definitely the Philly and Kansas City and Chicago systems were the same.
Yeah, I was about to say, he pretty much stayed within the same coaching staff.
That's why they was keeping it, because he knows the verbiage. So, yeah, he lucked in for that one.
All right, man, so I'm going to go back on something that I asked you a little bit earlier as far as what was the biggest surprise for the draft, and which was a great point was the quarterback going to Philly.
Mm-hmm. Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. Mine was Isaiah Simmons dropping down as far as he did.
To Arizona. That was
that's, which I think that's great for Arizona. But so for me, I was thinking, because we did a mock top 10 last week, I was thinking number 3 to Detroit because...
Yeah, they didn't have no real need. Who did they pick? Sam Bowie?
No, they got I think they got a corner.
Oh my God, that high?
Yeah. So, and my problem with
you in the NFC North, right?
Well, my thing is like when you're up that high, you got to draft for talent, not for need, or whatever the fuck. They could have needed any fucking position, to be honest with you. They're across the board, and I think that Isaiah Simmons could be. A generational type of defensive player.
They got a no-name defense right now.
Exactly. So, and I was thinking with Patricia, how he, New England,
minded.
right, and how New England would kind of plug guys into weird spots and just kind of work with players that maybe didn't have a position. Perfect. Then to see him drop, and I get, if I was San Diego, I would have if I was the Chargers, Los Angeles,
I would have took them too.
I would have took them too.
The Giants, I probably would have took them too.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
the Giants passed up on him too.
I thought he was going 4 to the Giants.
Which would make sense, man.
I thought he was going 4 to the Giants.
And they ended up taking a tackle, I believe. So
yeah, you gotta get somebody to protect that kid.
Right.
Danny
So
Dimes.
that I kind of get. It's like, okay, that I kind of get. I didn't get the Detroit one. I see what the Dolphins were doing. It's like, okay, I see what you're doing, but no way in hell am I ever taking Herbert over Isaiah Simmons, period, regardless of who you was. So, the Dolphins had Herbert or Isaiah Simmons, it'd been dumb to take Herbert.
And Herbert is going to be sitting. I mean, Isaiah Simmons is plug and play.
Right now.
You got Bosa. You got him. You got who was the other big boy they got down there on that line?
Melvin. Oh shit.
Ingram.
Melvin Ingram.
Melvin Ingram. You got Bosa, Darwin James.
I'm trying to think of a linebacker that's slipping my mind. They got a
good linebacker.
Yeah, they got a linebacker squad.
too,
So,
man.
like, for them to just, which I'm glad. I'm elated that they didn't pick them up, but still.
Yeah, for the Chiefs. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
So, but as far as, like, why you would make that move, I have no idea. So,
Who knows? That was. I don't see that.
so win this off with this. Like, this is time for grades. What would you give the Chiefs draft grade?
I give them a solid B. Some of their picks, man, you just got to kind of wait and see.
It's true.
You got to kind of dig into the YouTube to see what these guys are really talking about. Like I said, I'm not as versed in college football as I am in NFL, so I knew who Kareem Hunt was, though. And I actually said, oh, Kareem Hunt is going to beat Spencer Ware out of his job.
Right.
I said that as soon as they got him. When I looked at his tape, it was just like, you seen it.
Right.
And this draft now, the running back that we got, I think he's going to be serviceable. I think he's going to play way more than what people think he's going to play. The middle linebacker from Miss State, I think he's plug and play. One of the middle linebackers that lost their job. I mean, Reggie Ragland, he never played.
Nah.
So
when he did, it wasn't very. He might out of the 16-game season, you might see 2 or 3 players like, all right, that was a good play.
And then I think did we get another O-line?
Yeah, we got a tackle from Utah or from TCU, I believe.
Yeah.
In which they said that dude's a beast. Like, so it's you know, it's something down the line with either Eric Fisher or Mitchell Schwartz.
And you can always slide him into a guard.
In which Andy Reid's great at that. The 4th round pick was a safety.
The tackles are usually better, the best offensive lineman you got.
I agree. Yeah, right.
Just in general. I mean, like you can't really take a center to play tackle, but I'm not saying that you can take a tackle to play center neither, but
you're more likely to.
Yeah.
So you have more. It seems like there's more versatility.
The footwork and everything else is better. So,
right. They took a safety in the 4th round. They took the
safety though. They said he really plays corner. He played safety last year in that whatever conference he was in.
Right.
Just to kind of make sure that, probably just to give somebody else some burn to see what else they had on that staff. They say he's really a corner.
Right. They said he played corner the first year or the year before that. So, and that's what even though it's safety, I imagine they end up moving him to corner. Or Spagnuolo likes to have that versatility amongst those players. That
where you can swap them in and out wherever.
Because injuries are real. So,
yeah.
like we was talking earlier, Kendall Fuller was playing safety in the Super Bowl.
Because now we got Thornhill, but who was the other safety? Armani Watts?
Yeah, Armani Watts.
So this is his 3rd year.
Yep. His first year was IR.
Yeah, so this year we actually be able to see he's strong safety though, isn't he?
I believe so.
So he's really behind.
But it's one of those.
Badgers.
Yeah, it's one of those deals though. Like,
probably
if you want some playing time, you better learn to be flexible over here at free safety. And with the Honey Badger, the Chiefs defense, they'll play 3 safeties. That one safety coming up. Daniel Sorensen played that quite a bit.
Sorensen played like a fucking beast.
Yeah, especially playoff time.
Oh my God, Dirty Dan,
bro! And that's where I eat my crow. I was like full of, he's the season before. Maybe it was just more so of the defense that we was in, and he was just susceptible. We was trying to get him to be fucking Eric Berry, and like he just got burnt like toast quite a bit. So. He was a beast, especially there at the end of the season.
Yeah, Dirty Dan stepped up, man.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man. So for my grade, obviously it's shit's to be determined. I'll tell you this: with us having the pick of the litter at running backs, we better have the best running back.
Yeah,
because with us taking
so we took the first running back.
We took the first running back.
See, now I didn't even think about that. So he must be dope.
You better be. Because at this point, there's all positions have been taken at. Even a fucking center had been taken at this point. All positions had been taken. You had your pick of the litter at this one particular position. you better be right. This better end up being the top guy. At
They were
this
happy.
particular-
They were happy with that. pick.
Right. And I've watched quite a bit of YouTube on him the last couple of days. He looks solid, man. He looks like he's going to be good, and it's one of those deals where
In our system.
in our system, I think he could be great. From what I've heard, the other guys had they had like 800 carries throughout their college.
So it's already been work on them.
Exactly, to where this is his first year starting, and the kid that got drafted by Cincinnati, I'm not going to remember his Burrow.
Yeah.
He said that was the best player he's ever played with. So he's played with
That's
5.
what Burrow said.
Yeah, so that's
He played at Ohio State too.
Burrow.
Yeah, he transferred.
No, he did transfer. Yeah, you're right.
He
You're
transferred.
right. So for him to say that, like that's pretty impressive. But like for me, you got pick of the litter. This better be the best running back. So like you don't have a choice at this.
That's definitely something to look at. That's definitely optic to look at. Yeah,
So-
I'm expecting a lot out of him.
Yeah, so, I mean, overall, I'm there with you, B. A lot of this shit's to be determined. Even that, like you said, I wouldn't have minded if they would have went wide receiver at that first-round pick. Because, let's be honest, the ball's going to be in Pat's hand.
Yeah,
So, like, and that's what, if there's a quarterback you want thrown 40 times a game,
that's it.
it's Pat.
That's your boy.
So,
No big deal. That is your boy.
all right, on that note, go Chiefs.